I'm from the Warroad Area Chamber of Commerce and Convention and Visitors Bureau, and we were fortunate enough to be one of the 5 communities that was selected to take part in the program, and it was a long process. We had a great team. It was very educational for both our business community as well as our tourism community, and so I'm just going to share a little bit with you of the process and exactly what we have kind of come through with results and what we're doing as far as moving forward. We listed Welcome to Warroad as we're really trying to market to bring up some people. A challenge that we have is obviously our location. Since we are so far north, there's a lot of people that think there's nothing north of Brainerd or Duluth is the end of the world. So we've been kind of trying to do some target marketing to create some more interest in drawing people further north. Attractions, this is only a number of the items that we have. Can everybody see that, read that? So that's just part of the opportunities that we have for people to do things, a variety of things indoors and outdoors, which is another challenge that we've had is if the weather isn't good, people don't want to come. So we're telling them you can come, and if the weather isn't conducive, you can just go indoors for the day and still go fishing the next day or what have you. So we're the home of a brand new casino that we're happy to boast about. Seven Clans Casino just opened a new facility in September. And
is that your phone going on?
It is.
Okay.
You weren't supposed to notice that. So currently there's going to be 3 phases to the casino, and phase 1 is completed, and phase 2 and 3 will be coming in the next 2 to 5 years is what we're told. So obviously we had to throw a few fish pictures in there, and those are actually fish that came out of Lake of the Woods. They are! They are! No story there. And Hockeytown USA, we're excited to announce that we have recently acquired, as of October 21st, the moniker is ours legally. So the debate between Detroit and Warroad can continue. So the tourism assessment, the benefits was, the first thing we needed to do was specifically define tourists. What was our definition of the word tourist? Was it solely outdoors people? Was it indoors? Exactly what were we looking at? And so going through the process, we sort of learned that we actually have visitors that come to our community for a number of reasons. Hockey, fishing, ATV trails in our Beltrami State Forest, which is near us. We also had a lot of business tourists. People that would come to town for business purposes and then have some time to spend going through the area, and so giving them opportunities to learn about what else we had to offer. And primarily, the CVB and the Chamber Board were a little unsure when I kind of presented the opportunity to them to be part of this program, because they weren't really sure what that looked like and how much time was invested and what exactly did they need to do to help support that. And the big thing that we managed to obtain was a clear definition of where we wanted to market in the future and what were we going to market. And so the assessment clearly identified key points for the CVB to focus on promotion opportunities. And ultimately, previous years, mostly it was marketing fishing, winter and summer fishing. And through this process and through some information that we gained from our website, we discovered that hockey is actually stronger in our area than fishing. So that was a little bit of a shift in the direction of where they had been placing their funding up until this point. So right now we're kind of split 50-50 between hockey and fishing. A key finding that we found during this process was we have one highway that comes through, Baudette, Warroad, Roseau, and that's Highway 11. And so we are looking at collaborating with our neighboring communities and marketing as a joint effort and to try to promote the rural area, and whether if you're stopping in one community that you have the opportunity to go to the next neighboring community. In today's day, 20 minutes or 30 minutes to drive is not a barrier as much as it used to be years back. The assessment made future planning much easier. In the reports, if you get a chance, I do encourage you to read it. It's a little bit lengthy, but very, very good information for our community. It was fantastic to have the mystery shopper concept, as we know what our community had as assets. But when you're from the outside looking at a community through fresh eyes, there was some very valid points of different things. Strengths were pointed out, room for improvement was pointed out. It was actually a very good, very constructive process. Our community is really second to none, I like to say. Super supportive. We do a lot of fundraising, 5K fundraising, we do a wine walk, we do a beer crawl. All of these items that we do is raising funds for various local programs. So, for example, during one activity we did, the funds went to purchasing backpacks for kids in the school. So we were able to purchase the backpacks plus fill them with the school supplies for each elementary grade appropriate student. And then another one that we did was providing winter gear, boots and snow pants and those sorts of things to help. So I'm very proud to say that I'm from Warroad, because we do very much appreciate our citizens and our tourism. Our guests are very important, and really the assessment helped really enhance that. And that's kind of the end for me. I do thank everybody for all of the work that they put into that. It was very time consuming. It was Ronnie and Linda and Cynthia and Zinni, everybody was very, very good. I do encourage people to read the results, because I'm sure there are things that you can glean for your areas as well. Yes?
I have a question, because I don't know the answer. How did Warroad end up being named Warroad? And what's the history that goes with it?
That is actually a native name, and it was actually the War of Roads. So there were the Ojibwe tribe would clash with the Sioux, Lakota and Dakota Sioux, because the area was rich with fishing and rice fields. And so many years back, that used to be the battlegrounds. There was a lot of lives lost in the fight for the land at that point. So our community is very, very large with Native culture, and if anybody's been following the National Coalition Against Racism in Sports topic, we recently managed to be successful in retaining our high school logo, which is the Warroad Warriors. And so it was a very interesting and enlightening process to go through as the coalition reneged the letter that they initially sent, telling us that we had 30 days basically to agree to change the name, to bringing them to the community and showing them the history and the culture, and really showing them there was nothing negative about it or derogatory about the name. It was all in pride and historically. And so that was a really surprising turn of events for us. We didn't expect to have that opportunity, but it's turned out to be a really positive thing. So.
Do you know when the last battle was?
There is, we have a great heritage center, a heritage and museum center, but there was a few fires that happened way back in the late 1800s. So there is a gap in some of the historical tracings. So I would be totally guessing, because there isn't really a lot of information about some of those things. And initially, when it was being settled, there was a language barrier, and so things were not really clear as far as dates. So,
thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes.
Were there, through this process, were there any community assets identified that you didn't really maybe consider a community asset? And then what would an example of maybe something be that you maybe have a plan, and maybe share that plan with us a little bit?
The one that primarily would jump out as we kind of knew as a core group in the community what our assets were. One that really sort of stood out prominently after going through this assessment was Beltrami State Island Forest. Natural resources at its finest, many acres of beautiful landscape and trails. And so the discussion then led our CVB team, marketing team, to say, you know, ATV routes are very, very popular and becoming more and more popular, and which in a way was kind of a little bit unusual since Polaris Industries is 20 miles away from us and they produce them. So it really kind of helped enhance that, and to say, rather than totally focusing on even hockey and fishing at this point, that there were other attributes that we could tap into and be able to promote and market. And we currently have a very large chapter of the Rough Grouse Society that has created several trails within the forest. And so we're teaming up with them to promote the area and create some maps and get some more attention to the area and encourage people to come up and stay and take part in the grouse hunting and come back and, you know, visit us later too. So.
Thank you, Donna. Great.